What's up everyone and welcome back to the MMA Zone. Today, let's get started with Dricus du Plessis talks about Khamzat Chimaev loss. Back in August, the MMA community witnessed one of the most dominant performances in UFC history, with Khamzat Chimaev beating DDP for the middleweight title. And before we continue, make sure to leave a like on the video to help support the channel. After that fight, we hadn't heard much from DDP other than a post on social media where he took blame for the loss and didn't make any excuses. I have absolutely no excuses for my performance. I was beaten by a better fighter on the night. Congratulations to my opponent, and thank you for the honor of sharing the octagon with you. Now, a video is being released of Dricus du Plessis talking about the Khamzat loss during what appears to be an ad for Crypto.com. In the ad, it showed moments of DDP in the fight with Khamzat and the aftermath of leaving the arena. In the clip that we cannot play, DDP said the following: "In these moments, we are not defeated. We are human, and being human is the most courageous thing of all. These moments are not just where we survive. They are where champions are born. Bravery. It's in the heart to endure loss and still stand tall. And that's inside all of us. Born in the quiet moments developed over a lifetime. No one can take that from me. So the journey continues. I am Dricus du Plessis, born brave, and I will be back." Damn, did anyone else get chills from that? Anyways, who do you think is a good matchup for DDP? Would you be interested in a possible rematch? Or does DDP need to get 1 to 2 more wins first? Fighter pulls out of UFC Qatar main card fight last minute. UFC Qatar is this weekend for those of you that didn't know. And with that, we all know we can't go a fight week without something happening to the card. Last night, it was revealed that Sergey Spivak is out of his fight against Shamil Ghazi. As for the reason, it's unknown at the moment. Luckily, the UFC found a replacement just 3 days before the fight, and you won't believe who it is. After getting eye-poked by Tom Aspinall's teammate and then winning the fight, Waldo Cortez Acosta is stepping in at UFC Qatar after 3 weeks from his Ante Ilia fight. This news was first reported by Carlos Contreras Legaspi. Waldo Cortez Acosta reacted to the fight news on social media, writing, "Anytime, just a call away. Thanks, Dana. See you Saturday in Qatar. I just pricing, I'm a real pirate. 3 days notice, I'm born to fight, coming for everybody." As for the fight, it looks like the UFC will keep it on the main card for Qatar. With this last minute change, who do you see winning this fight? Arman Tsarukyan wants Ilia Topuria to face off after UFC Qatar. If victorious this Saturday at UFC Qatar over Dan Hooker, Arman Tsarukyan plans to call out Ilia Topuria to a face-off inside the octagon. It's known that Topuria will be present in the arena for this event, supporting his brother Alexander, who'll be facing Begzat Almakhan on the card. Arman said that if he gets a good finish, he'll call him out and do the face-off there in the octagon. By calling Topuria into the cage, it'll help build up their fight, with Arman most likely getting the next title shot, given that the UFC doesn't randomly give it to Paddy Pimblett, instead knowing that Ilia himself wants Paddy. Arman also said that watching JDM versus Islam was like watching a champion fight an amateur fighter. He thinks that Islam showed a different level in that fight, and he's far better than anybody else right now in the division, and it's going to be hard to take his belt. Here's the clip.
I was super impressed and when I was watching the fight, because it was so easy, like kind of champion fighting with an amateur, you know. He showed he's on different level. No, Islam way better than everybody right now. He's really pound for pound, and on 170 it's gonna be difficult to beat him.
It was also revealed that Khamzat will be in the corner for Arman at UFC Qatar. If you don't remember, Arman was also in Khamzat's corner for his fight with Dricus du Plessis at UFC 319. The two have been training together for a few months now, and it seems like their chemistry is on point with each other. Even in this clip, you can see Khamzat hyping Arman up while exercising.
There we go. Let's go, Arman! Let's go, Arman! Come on, boy! Armansky! 400 though. He's only keeping on 400. Only 400? Yeah.
Smart boy.
Bro.
Smart boy, coach.
He has to make records to be a smart. In the cage you can be smart. But here, bro.
Carter's only doing 200.
And while we're on the topic of Arman Tsarukyan, the MMA community reacts to Arman Tsarukyan's insane body transformation. A couple photos have been circulating around social media showing off Arman's physique ahead of his fight this coming weekend. And let's just say, he is looking insanely ripped. His body is actually one of the top 5 I've personally seen in the UFC, and it's quite impressive. How he's able to make 155 is absurd, given the muscle mass he has on his upper body. Although he's listed only at 5'7", his size comparison looks like he could be a middleweight. Well, the MMA community reacted to these pictures of Arman, with fans writing, "Bro looks like an action figure. MF body looks like action figurine. What the Bro's looking jacked. Thought it was photoshopped at first. LMAO. Best shape in UFC. Purple shorts for Arman Tsarukyan this weekend. How the hell does this guy make 155? Is this the result of expensive foods? The mosquito bites are shameless. The needle mark on the second ab is hysterical. It's just a coincidence that so many jacked fighters have injection marks on their abdominal muscles. Just a coincidence. Stop spreading rumors. What do you think of Arman's body transformation for this fight? Do you think he could possibly be on the juice? Or do you think he's just all natty and just eating good food in Russia? Let us know your opinion in the comments below. Kamaru Usman reveals he was knocked out in sparring. On a recent episode of the Daniel Cormier show, Kamaru Usman revealed that before the Leon Edwards headshot, he had only been knocked out one other time during one of his training sessions with Michael Johnson, who was in shape and only 3 weeks out from his fight at the time. He dropped Kamaru Usman pretty badly during a sparring session. He said he went a whole 5 minutes with Michael and he put it on Kamaru and sat him down, making him fall back, landing on his own arm, and apparently there's a video out there that might just eventually get leaked in the future. Here's what Kamaru had to say.
Besides the head kick that we heard around the world, I was dropped one time ever in my career. That was by Michael Johnson at practice. I had just I fought and then I took like 2 weeks off. And then I came back, jumped right into sparring with the Michael Johnson.
Who at the time was so fast.
So fast, and was 3 weeks away from a fight. He was in shape.
Yeah.
And Michael, and I went a whole 5 minutes with him. And Michael, towards the end of sparring too, not great. Michael put it on me.
Yeah.
On me to where he sat me down. And it's funny, I have the video still to this day. And of course, Rashad has it in the archives.
Please
he
don't
makes sure he reminds you.
He probably like, yo, if you ever get too out of line, I still have this.
Oh my God, I'm surprised the video hadn't come out yet. But he sits me down and I fall down. When I sit down, sit back. I fall down on my arm like this. To my arm out, but it just goes to show, even at that time, and even to today's day, how special Michael Johnson was, because Michael was such a great combination of speed and power for a little skinny guy like that.
Yeah.
Oh, he'll put it on you.
He was.
Yeah.
He was good. But that, we'll get into Rashad Evans a little later, but that's your brother. Because if he wasn't, that would already have surfaced.
Of course.
Right?
Of course.
If he wasn't your brother, people would have seen that video, because people always, especially in today's world, clout chasing, you become the champion.
Of course.
That would have leaked at that moment, but obviously he cares about you too much.
As we're on the topic of Usman, many of you know he's been calling for a title shot against Islam Makhachev next. And to be fair, Makhachev is also interested. Well, it looks like Garry has a problem with Usman if that scenario plays out.
Khabib and his team are very smart, and they are very intelligent at choosing fights and making interesting matchups. Kamaru Usman is fucking irrelevant in the welterweight division right now, and I excuse my language, but it's the fact. He's a has-been, and yes, at one point in time, he was arguably the greatest welterweight of all time. He's not close now. And I think Khabib and the team in Russia and that whole fight team, they know how to spin the wording to build a fight. But there's no interest. No fan wants to see that fight. They want to see him versus me. They want to see him versus Shavkat. They want to see Islam versus Practice and Morales. They want to see the new generation of this welterweight division.
Later on, Garry went on to say that Makhachev is pushing for the fight to get an easy 17th win to set the record. Do you agree with what Garry is trying to say in terms of no real UFC fans is trying to see Usman versus Makhachev? The Mighty Guru show ends due to MMA Guru comments. If you keep up with the MMA community, then you probably heard that MMA Guru and Demetrius Johnson were teaming up and making a podcast called The Mighty Guru Show, where they would do recaps for fights. Well, it only lasted 3 episodes before it was canceled yesterday due to MMA Guru's comments. MMA Guru posted a few tweets addressing the situation. He wrote, "I was fine with you on here acting like I was a because I called someone and told some guy spamming in my live chat to cry at a border, but now you're targeting DJ. I'll drop the news early. The Mighty Guru show is over. DJ stood his base. Video dropping soon." I get it, a lot of victims on here crying about a donation from 2019 and words on a live stream. But the "how does DJ collaborate with this guy" stuff gotta stop. We spoke right after the pod dropped about it. I messaged him the other day saying, "I'm good to back down." MMA Guru also made a video explaining the situation and said that the producers of the show have been calling him, telling him to tone it down on all of his tweets for a while. and it was building up to this moment of the show being stopped basically since it started. Here's what he had to say.
It is what it is. I can't tone it down to zero. I'll tell you this, it goes as far as, chat, and I mentioned this in a video, and this was said to me as well. It goes as far as the producers of the show are Jewish, chat. This has been a building thing that I've constantly been called up on, and I just can't do it. I remember I tweeted something about Pinas. I know Jews own the UFC, but Pinas should be cut. And then I replied to a Marvin Vittori tweet, and obviously he's pretty anti-Semitic on Twitter. He had an anti-Semitic post. I replied to it once. I got called up on that, and it was just a multitude of things. Even the Raja stuff was being discussed, and they just kept telling me, like, wind it down. And I just couldn't wind it down, chat. I'm not winding it down.
The real reason he got all of this backlash was mainly for his comments about Muslims he made on the last episode. We can't go into too many details because of YouTube, but if you want to watch it yourself, you can. It was the icing on the cake for the show to be canceled. Alex Pereira would get dominated by Khamzat in grappling. Recently, we covered Alex Pereira and Glover Teixeira responding to Khamzat Chimaev and calling him out to a grappling match. They both don't believe that Khamzat deserves a UFC fight with Alex because he hasn't earned it yet. Khamzat responded by basically accepting the offer, claiming it's easy money. Well, today, Baisangor Susurkayev, who just got a knockout win over Eric McConaughey in the third round at UFC 322 and called out both Bo Nickel and Khamzat after the fight, has now commented on Alex calling out Khamzat to a grappling match. He thinks that Pereira versus Khamzat in grappling would be like him going up against Messi in football. He also said that in an MMA match, Alex has a better chance, but Khamzat would still end up beating him.
I don't know why this guy wanna grappling with him. It will be like I will try to do versus Leo Messi in football. It's very different level for wrestling. Maybe if we ask him about kickbox, it will be a good match. But Alex and wrestling is different.
What about MMA? These two.
MMA, he has more chance, but Khamzat will beat him.
Dana White suspends UFC fighter for using PEDs. Yesterday, the MMA community got news of a UFC fighter testing positive. According to reports, Yasmin Lucindo has tested positive for mesterolone. Yasmin Lucindo is currently 5-2 in the UFC and is coming off a win over Angela Hill. She was scheduled to fight on December 13th against Jillian Robertson, but she tested positive. She was allegedly caught using a medication called mesterolone, which is used to treat low testosterone or hypogonadism in men. After receiving her suspension, Lucindo's team denies any wrongdoing from their side. They're currently working with the CSAD and the NSAC to see if a contaminated substance is to blame. Lucindo's manager, Tiago Okamura, spoke to MMA Junkie about the matter. In late September, Yasmin was flagged for metabolites of a prohibited substance. However, she was tested in August after her fight, with the result returning negative, and again in October, which also came back negative. Yasmin has not knowingly used any prohibited substances, and based on the amount and type of the detected metabolites, we firmly believe that this is a case of contamination rather than intentional use. We are working diligently in collaboration with Free Sports and the UFC to identify the source of this contamination. We are actively working to find answers. Since the test was conducted while Yasmin was booked to fight in Las Vegas, the Nevada State Athletic Commission, NSAC, has jurisdiction over this matter, and we are working with them as well to clear the situation. As we stand, we have identified 2 supplements that align with the timeline of the tests. These samples have been sent to the SMRTL labs in Utah for comprehensive testing, with the hope of uncovering the cause and ensuring transparency for all involved. What are your thoughts on the situation? As for Lucindo, she is still a very young prospect in the UFC, as she's only 23 years old.